the major breakthrough generated using this stem echo technology is to identify and clone the pathogenic stem cells for chronic inflammatory diseases. Using this stem echo technology, we dissect the very complicated stem cell pool at the clonal level.
The significance of this work is that these cells that we've been able to isolate and grow up in large populations, we've been able to characterize their role in the pathogenesis of inflammatory diseases and certain types of cancer. And what's important about that is that previously, the role that these cells play in the development of inflammatory diseases like COPD were not known. But what's very interesting is our research has shown that these epithelial stem cells that cause cancer and inflammation have common characteristics that were not known before. And the drugs that we're discovering could potentially treat multiple forms of cancer and inflammation. And our preclinical work that we've done to date demonstrates that.
One unexpected finding in their work is that there's overlap between inflammatory conditions and malignancies. We've known that for a long time. But what we didn't know was that esophageal cancer and pancreatic cancer and lung cancer and breast cancer and ovarian cancer share certain elements in terms of a predisposition to one or more types of disease-causing stem cells. What that means is that there may be a common way to diagnose some of these conditions. They're not identical, but there's overlap. So as you create diagnostic tests, and most importantly, as you create possible treatments for these conditions, there may be some overlap in what treatments may work for cancer, regardless of where it is in the body.
This is a big breakthrough for us because we found actually there is a big similarity between the chronic inflammatory diseases and the cancer. Both of them have their own stem cell origin, and these stem cell origin are very distinct from the normal stem cells in human body, and the normal stem cells are responsible for normal tissue homeostasis and regeneration and tissue injury repairing. So the similarity between the chronic inflammatory disease and the cancer make this stem echo technology very useful.
I think when we were looking at chronic inflammatory diseases, it doesn't matter what organ it's in, there's just so many similarities between them. They all have these metaplastic lesions, they all have inflammatory cells, they all have fibrosis. They're almost identical, but they're in different organs. So we call them different things. We call them COPD or IPF or IBD or ulcerative colitis. But in fact, the fundamental mechanism that's going wrong is the same. And so it's, this is no longer shocking us that there's a common theme for chronic inflammatory diseases such that we could go after, and we are going after, a number of others, Alzheimer's, and we fully expect them to be operating in the same way.
I think we will think about science very differently in the future. We will think about inflammatory conditions, and we will think about these common and deadly diseases, which we call cancer, realize that there is some overlap, and find ways to fundamentally think differently about it, prevent them, diagnose them earlier, and hopefully find new treatments. I think this will change the course of cancer research in the country.